boys and girls. I'm going to talk about the exit slip from Monday 427 in math on multiplying across zeros. Some of you are getting a little confused. We've done this in class, so I just wanted to kind of review a little bit on what they're asking you. So I'm going to just do some example problems, not the ones that are on the exit slips, but hopefully this will help clear up any questions you had. Okay, so here's my first example. So my first example is 5 multiplied by 5. So I know that 5 is in the ones place value. So I'm going to say this is a ones place value multiplied by a ones place value. There are some things that I know you guys know. I know for sure that you guys know that 1 times 1 gives you ones, right? So if I say ones multiplied by ones, I'm going to get an answer that's going to be in the ones, right? So I know that if I was going to say my place value problem here, I would say is 5 ones, because that's what we have here, multiplied by 5 ones. So if I do ones times ones, I'm going to get ones. So I know 5 ones multiplied by 5 ones would give us 25 ones. And how do I write 25 ones? I would write it as 25. Okay, so the next problem is, it looks like 100 times 1. So let's do 500 times 3. Okay, so again, just like in the first one, let's use what we know. So we have 500 times 3. So I know that if I'm going to do hundreds, if you guys can see this, hundreds times ones, what am I going to get? So let's think about this. What about 100 times 1? Well, what am I going to get? Well, anything times 1 is itself, right? So I know that my answer is going to be in hundreds, because anything times 1 is itself. So I know my answer is going to be hundreds here. So I can say that I have 5 hundreds multiplied by 3 ones is going to give me, remember, it's going to give me hundreds. So I'm going to say that 5 times 3, so that is 15 hundredths then. Because, remember, hundreds times 1, because anything times 1 is going to still give me hundreds. So then 1,500. And some of you are getting confused. Well, how do I write 1,500? So first I'm going to write our 15, and I'm going to think about place value, that hundreds place value. So I know my last digit here is going to need to be in that hundreds place value. So I'm going to look at it like this. So I'm going to say this has to be in the hundreds. So that's how I get my zeros there, because this is the hundreds. 15 in the hundreds. This is the hundreds place value. So that's how we know that it's 1,500 or 15 hundredths. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. So the next one looks like it's a 2-digit by a 1-digit. So let's do 60 times 5. Okay, so what do I have here? I have 6 tens, and I'm going to multiply it by 5 ones. Okay, let's go back. What do we know? So we know that we have tens, and we're multiplying it by ones. Remember, anything multiplied by 1 is itself. So that means that my answer is going to be in the tens place value. So I know that I'm going to have 6 times 5 is 30 tens. Remember, anything times 1 is itself. So that would be 30 tens. Okay, remember how we did it up here. So I need the ones place, the tens place, and I'll probably need one more. So this is the tens place, right? So if I have 30 tens, I'm going to put that there. 30 tens, so I know that 30 tens is 300. Okay, that makes sense? All right, moving on. Next problem. I think it's a 2-digit by a 2-digit. Okay, so these are the hard ones. A lot of people are struggling with these, so I really want you to pay attention. So let's do like 30 times 40. Okay, let's go with what we know. What do we know? So we know we have 3 tens and we have 4 tens, right? So we're going to do tens times 10. So this is a little different. So think about it like this. You have 10 multiplied by 10. What is 10 times 10? Those are the things we know. 10 times 10 is 100. So our answers is going to be hundreds because we know 10 times 10 is 100. Okay? So let's think about this. So now we have 3 tens. So we're going to write it out. 3 tens times 4 tens. And what's our answer going to be? 3 times 4 is 12. And we said, remember, 10 times 10 is 100, right? So our answer is going to be in hundreds. So it's going to be 12 hundreds. Because we can't say it's tens. If we do 10 times 10, that's going to be tens? That doesn't make sense. So that's not reasonable. So now we have 12 hundredths. So let's think. I'm going to do our hundreds place value. And I know that this last digit here has to be in the hundreds place value. So I know then my answer is 1,200. Okay, so let's do another one of those just quickly. So let's think about it. Let's do 60 times 40. Okay? So let's do 60 times 40. Again, how many tens do we have? We have 6 tens. And we have how many tens here? 4 tens. I wish you guys were here that you guys could answer me. Okay, so 6 tens times 4 tens. So let's think about that. So we have 6 times 4. That gives us 24. But remember, is it tens? Is it ones? Is it hundreds? Is it magically thousands? What do we know? Boom, we know 10 times 10 is 100. So our answer should be in the hundreds. Okay, so now let's look. We have 24 hundredths. How am I going to write that? So I know, here's my place value again. I know that 4 has to stay in the hundreds because that's what it's representing. So I need to put my 24 right there. So I know it's 2,400. Okay, so the last one is a hundreds times, 1,000 times a 1. So let's do like 3,000 multiplied by, what do you guys want to do? Let's say 5. Okay, so now, what do we know? We have how many thousands? We have 3 thousands. And we have 5 ones. Okay, go back. Ooh, our property of 1. What do we know? Anything times 1 is itself. So we have thousands, and we have it times 1. So imagine you have 1,000 times 1. What is 1,000 times 1? Well, 1,000 times 1 is 1,000. So our answer is still going to be in the thousands because anything multiplied by 1 is itself. The property of 1. Just like 5 times 1 is what? 5. It's itself. 6 times 1 is 6. Ooh, it's itself. That means anything times 1 is itself. Think about this. So 1,000 times 1 is 1,000. That means it's itself. That's what I mean. So our answer is going to be into the thousands because we have thousands times ones. So our answer 3 times 5 is 15,000. How do I write 15,000? Well, I know this 5 has to be in the thousands place. So I'm going to make some lines here because I know this is ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. So I need my 1 before that. And it would be 15,000. Okay, I hope this helps a little bit and you guys can remember what we did in class. Okay, go be great mathematicians. Missing you. Bye.